I'd sometimes seen on the cartoons when Daffy Duck smashed his thumb with a hammer. As the service carried on and we performed the duties expected of us, the tension inside my small frame increased. Ben would sneak a cheeky grin at me whenever he got the chance, and in those split seconds, I would be a child again, happy and carefree. The briefest of moments that shone like stars in a very dark sky. And so it is with friendship and humility that we offer each other a sign of God's peace. Father's words rang across his flock, and they turned to each other, extending their hands and smiling. Total strangers, wishing each other the peace of God. Ben and I stood, waiting patiently for Father to come and share that peace with us, his public display of support for all to see. He walked towards us, his robes flowing behind him. Ben was first, and I felt him recoil slightly at the contact. His arm hung out limply. "Peace be with you, Father," he said, his voice barely audible. "And with you, my son," Father said, teeth bright against his olive skin. He turned to me then, reaching out with his right hand, while his left hand cupped my shoulder, holding me in place. "And peace be with you also." His eyes bore right through me, into that dark place where my soul lived. A plaster smile stuck to his face. His fingers wrapped around mine, skin damp, and he shook my hand forcefully. Then he let me go and spun on his heel, his robes like a superhero's cape behind him. It was time for Holy Communion. Ben and I shared a glance before we headed back into the spotlight. We produced the ornate chalice and the decanter of wine, and placed them carefully on the altar, then stole ourselves away again. Breaking the bread, he gave it to his disciples and said, "Take this, all of you, and eat it. This is my body, which will be given up for you." Father raised the bread above his head, gazing upwards and blessing the offerings that his congregation were about to receive. At that precise moment every week, I wondered if God actually was watching. Was it true that he was looking down on our church and everyone in it, shining his light onto us and into our hearts and minds? Did he see everything that happened in here? The worshippers came forward one by one, many blessing themselves as they returned to their seats, their place in heaven secure for at least another week. Ben and I tidied up the altar, returning it to its pristine condition, while Father sat, quietly contemplating his farewell message. He rose and stood at the lectern. The congregation rose with him. "And so, we come to the end of another celebration of God's work. But before we leave, I feel the need to share with you all the theme of this week's liturgical groups, that of forgiveness. Just as we will be forgiven our sins when we appear before God, so must we be mindful of exercising forgiveness to those we feel have wronged against us in the community. Doing this allows us to bring a small piece of God into our world on a daily basis, and that is the highest honor we can engage in. In parting, I challenge you all to focus on forgiveness this week, and in turn pray that those you have wronged will find it in their hearts to forgive you also." He raised his hands, reaching towards the crowd. "Go in peace, to love and serve the Lord." His words rang out, the Mass complete, and my blood freezing in my veins. Ben and I followed Father out to the church's back rooms, our small procession coming to a halt as we entered Father's preparation room. "Well done, boys," he said, his godly facade left behind at the altar. He grabbed us both, his robust arms wedging us together, ensuring we had no wriggle room whatsoever. "It's good to see my A-team performing to their usual standards. That's the way I like it." He let us go, and then extricated himself from his thick purple and white silk robes, pulling them over his head before folding them neatly and placing them in the wardrobe. As usual, he was dressed smartly underneath, black pants,